Greetings and welcome to the channel. I don't want to come out and say that this is going to be a rant video, but it's a video where I've seen a few things that's disturbing to me in the gaming industry right now. One of them pertains to The Legend of Zelda. Another one pertains to the upcoming Elder Scrolls 6, which even if you're not a fan of those style of games, you have to be aware that Elder Scrolls is very popular. You know, it's right. It's kind of up there with Grand Theft Auto. So I understand people are waiting for Grand Theft Auto 6. The Nintendo Switch 2 is coming out, but a lot of people waiting for the Elder Scrolls. And there's been an image floating around that has been, I guess, the circle of much debate. And so I want to head on over to my Twitter and just kind of just show you what I mean. So this particular guy, Cabrutus, I want to show this image right here. Now, this image has found its way to me, and this represents part of the leadership of the Elder Scrolls 6 game that's set to come out who knows when. Now, each of these women, as far as I'm concerned, they just scream modern audience. They scream progressive identity politics and all that other stuff. And when I did a little bit of research and a little bit of digging, it comes to find out that they actually have been a part of Bethesda for quite some time. And I don't deny their talent as, you know, for what they do in their role. I don't deny that. And back then, when they were developing those earlier Bethesda games, they were not in the positions that they are now. And this is what brings me to this other point right here. What he says, Cabrutus says about this particular guy. I mean, look at this guy. This guy is definitely who you do not This is the face of a person you do not want anywhere near a video game, a TV show, or a movie. You do not want this. You just don't, because it's going to flop and it's going to fail. And as was the case with Dragon Age: The Veilguard, but I will get back to that one. So when I look at this, so in this tweet that I'm about to open up, he goes on to detail that there have been people making the excuse that these three women, they're qualified, they've been with the company for a long period of time. And so he brings the comparison to this guy, Patrick Weeks, who's also been with BioWare for a long period of time and worked on prior games. However, when he was put into the role that he's in, or whatever the circumstance was, he basically went into business for himself. It's a kind of a pro wrestling term where he wanted to push the identity politics, which led to the ruination of the Dragon Age franchise, which ironically I covered very early on in my YouTube journey. I think I'll actually link some of those videos in the description of this video. So anyway, so let me just read this a little bit. So he says, Cabruto says, I'm seeing some people claiming that since these women are in Bethesda for a long time, this post is just a grift, and the Elder Scrolls 6 is actually in good hands because of it. Okay, meet Patrick Weeks. He worked in BioWare for almost 20 years, and he was the writer of the entire original Mass Effect trilogy and also the entire Dragon Age franchise. He obviously was also the lead writer behind Dragon Age: The Veilguard, and he got fired from BioWare after the disastrous flop of that title. See, being in a company for a long time and having done good things previously doesn't guarantee that someone won't end up getting infected by the progressus virus and start destroying beloved franchises. Now, I do agree, because for me, I am a lover of both the Mass Effect and the Dragon Age franchises, you know, when they were good. And Dragon Age: The Veilguard, early on, when the game was set to be released and whatnot, I was actually interested and excited for that game. And I feel that the combat of the game, I understand that there are many people who don't even like the combat, but for me, I felt that overall it was better than the prior Dragon Age games. You can let me know in the comments if you are a fan of the older games. But when it came to the story, that's where I was concerned, because not only was this guy the lead writer, but the person that was the creative lead, Corinne Bush, for the sake of me not getting this video demonetized, let me just say that this Corinne Bush person, whatever this person wants to do in their life, it's their life to live. But, if you want to masquerade as something that you'll never be, that's also your business. But when you pretty much come from a franchise like The Sims for over 15 years, and you get brought into Dragon Age, you completely ruin that franchise along with this Patrick Weeks guy. It really sets the tone that anytime I see people that look like this, that have these sort of political identity agendas, I'm deeply concerned, whether it's a movie, a show, and especially a video game, because I've seen firsthand that even though while I enjoy certain aspects of Dragon Age the Veilguard, I'm under no illusion that that franchise is dead. It's dead and buried. The only way that franchise is going to come back is if EA sells the IP to somebody else, or they bring in actual qualified developers that do not have this political agenda. So again, getting back to Elder Scrolls 6, I'm just concerned because the fate that Dragon Age suffered, I'm now concerned that Elder Scrolls 6 is going to suffer the same fate. And and it's not even just those two games. I can even show you this other one right here, right? Vowed. This was another game that was that's currently on Game Pass. I did play the game. In fact, I streamed it maybe a couple of months ago on my channel, and I didn't get very far in the game. I kind of liked it. A lot of the controversy or the issues that people had is that when you go into villages, the people don't move. And I can remember back in the day when I play RPGs, the only thing that we did whenever we went to towns and villages was to get the next quest or to buy new armor and swords. Most of the time, the people weren't moving anyway. So for me, that wasn't a deal breaker. But apparently, the individual that was the director, as you can see here, this person ended up quitting. This person spent the vast majority of their time as a lead writer. Similar to the Patrick Weeks, this guy right here. Where is he? This guy right here. Okay. So him and this individual was essentially a lead writer for most of their career, and was then gifted the creative director lead for the game Vowed. And basically, from what I can understand, the story is not that great. The writing is awful. I can't speak to it directly because I haven't gotten that far in the game, but everybody can't be lying. And I have a feeling it's due to this person. And then what ends up happening is these people, they ruin gaming franchises, and then they end up leaving or getting fired, and they just move on to the next project and ruins that. It's almost like they're like some sort of virus, and they just go from franchise to franchise to franchise. And if you say anything against them, now all of a sudden you are a insert word phobe, or you're this phobe, or you're that phobe. And it's just ridiculous, So I'm deeply concerned about Elder Scrolls 6 moving forward, because there's just so much nonsense going on. You see this tweet from this guy, Pirate Nation. Yeah, Dragon Age the Veilguard writer said that Expedition 33 succeeded because they got time to cook. And he says they got time to add surgery scars to please the ill modern audience. The surgery scars, again, that came from Dragon Age the Veilguard, which was written by the Patrick Weeks guy and the individual that masquerades as a woman. Yeah, this whole modded audience thing, it is truly a cancer to the gaming industry and basically to every industry. I can't think of anything that has come from this positively. I can't think of it. Every single thing it touches, it infects it, it destroys it, and then the people responsible, they either leave or get fired and move on to the next project. This is the thing I see. So, again, I know I've gone around the mountain here, but I felt it needed and relevant to kind of illustrate some of the pattern, the behavioral pattern of these types of people when it comes to your shows, your movies, your video games, that they come in, they disrupt an already established IP or franchise from within, destroying the actual IP to pretty much go in line with their own political ideology. And if you don't like it and you speak out against it, you are whatever they want to call you. So it's just really ridiculous. So I am very, very concerned. I'm going to keep saying that with Elder Scrolls 6, because I look at this and I see failure. I see failure when I look at this image. I hope that I'm wrong, but I just see failure, because how can I not see failure when Avowed, Dragon Age the Veilguard, several other games that push these ideological agendas, they all basically die. They fail. They flop. I'm not against people wanting to live their life the way they want. I'm not against all that. My point is, if you want to do that, then why don't you make your own game, your own show, your own movie, your own video game that's more directly in line with your own audience? Why come over and try to push your ideology on the rest of us? And you're trying to tell us about pronouns. You're trying to tell us about this, we don't care about any of that. We just want a solid experience in a video game. That's what we want. We don't want to be preached to. That's what we don't want. And how many times do these companies have to go through flop after flop until they realize it? But that's how you know it's an agenda, because these companies are losing millions and millions of dollars to push this, but they keep pushing it. Why? Because they're getting money off site or under the table, so to speak, by other larger companies that's seeking to push that agenda through video games, comics, shows. It's all over. It's literally everywhere at this point. And I hate to admit it, I do speak very highly of Microsoft and Xbox specifically when it comes to Game Pass being the best value in gaming. Their cloud technology, their return policy it's second behind maybe Steam, but I honestly think they're neck and neck. The only thing about Microsoft I don't like is that push DEI very, very heavily. That's the one thing I can say about the Xbox brand / Microsoft, that they really dial it up when it comes to this DEI nonsense. And so I'm keeping my fingers crossed that I'm wrong about this. I'm hoping that everybody, including myself, that we are just overreacting by looking at this image right here. I hope that is the case, because Elder Scrolls 6, as I said before, is a highly anticipated game, much like Grand Theft Auto 6. And I would really hate to see that game, Elder Scrolls 6, be ruined because of identity politics. Like I said, also, I don't deny a person's talent. They got to their position however they got there. I'm pretty sure they are skilled at what they do. But if you want to have your own political agenda, if you want to masquerade as something that you're not, if you want to Mr. Potato Head your body, that's your business. But why can't you just simply make a quality game without pushing your own identity in this game? That's literally my question for that particular community. I don't think that's an unfair question. I don't think it is. Because the vast majority of the gaming populace in the world are straight men and women. If you're making a game that is based off of an already established IP that has millions upon millions of fans, well, the vast majority of them are straight men and women. So if you're trying to infuse and force your political, your gender theories and all your pronouns, what do you think is going to happen? We are going to collectively review bomb it. We are not going to be buying your product, and your product is going to basically flounder and die. So it's just very concerning. I guess I ended up ranting in this video. I apologize for that. But, seeing one of my favorite franchises get doomed the way it did when I'm speaking about Dragon Age the Veilguard, and I'm looking at this, I hope I'm wrong, but based on my experience and what I've been seeing, it looks like this is the direction they're heading toward. And it's also not just this as well. It's also the next Halo game, unfortunately. I've already seen what's going on with that. You got some other blue-haired chick that's very high up on the chain for Halo. I've already seen part of the development team for the next Halo game. So I'm just expecting the worst. So it's got to a point now that the main games I play and look forward to are games like those retro style games, like the upcoming Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, the upcoming Shinobi game. Those are the games. Blasphemous, if you've played that. Those games are the type of games that I'm really into. They're not preaching to you. It's just straight up video game action, moment to moment with whatever story they have. But, all of the DEI stuff, all of the preaching, this is my pronoun, us gamers, we don't want no part of that. And that's just what it is. Anyway, I just wanted to get this off my chest, and I hope everybody has a good rest of their weekend. And I guess that's about it. Anyway, take care. Peace.